You know, I've always been a runner. And I don't really mean that in like a kind of cringe sense. I just mean it in like, I used to always play outside. I used to play a lot of sports. I used to play soccer, basketball, pretty much anything under the sun that you would expect a young black kid living in America to be doing. But now, I almost never ever sprint. And it's actually pretty surprising. I found a stat. Apparently, almost 95% of people never run after the age of 30. And at the age of 21, that's only got about 9 years left if I go the path of the average person, which honestly I'm not really looking forward to. And I mean, obviously you kind of notice right over the years your endurance gets a little bit worse, gets a little bit shit. And the thing is, I don't, and nobody else really knows where to really start from when it comes to like improving this. Like to improve this, most people don't even know where to really start. You just kind of, you just kind of feel like lose some weight or something, But honestly, I really want you to think, how cool do you think it would be to be able to just like run at a full sprint, be like moving fast, like fast as hell, right? And being able to like chase somebody down, like the amount of fear you would put in their hearts, like that would be pretty, that would be pretty like scary, you know what I mean? But also really cool to have that ability. Like I like to think of myself in that kind of way. And for a long time, humans have been kind of like runners or like endurance people. Most people can't even really do that anymore. So we really got to figure out how exactly can we build up to that level again. That's what I'm going to tell you about in today's video, bro. So me personally, I first remember my stamina getting pretty bad. Like it became really apparent to me back in high school. Track out of all places. And I mean, honestly, it does make sense, right? But yeah, like during this time, I was really, like I've kind of talked about the story before, I was doing really, really well. And I was doing the hurdles. And my issue with them is that I'd be able to start off pretty fast, but closer to the end of the race, I'd always slow down. And it's because I just couldn't go full speed anymore. And these medals that I got are a testament to it. And I'm going to start flexing these probably like every single videos, because like, it's probably one of the only like trophy style, like, you know what I mean? Like things that I have from my childhood. I mean, that might sound sad, I don't know, I'm like a pretty active person, but I never really was playing active sports like that. So, it is what it is. But you can see 5th and 7th place. It's not focusing, but trust me on that. And those spots were earned in the last like few seconds of the race when I was slowing down and my lungs were just giving out. So you probably have the same question that I have, which is how exactly do you improve your running? One of the things that I've kind of been coming across is the concept of VO2 max. All in all, what it basically is, your body's ability to be able to take oxygen and convert it into energy that you're able to use. And pretty much the dumbed down version of this is the better VO2 max you have, not the better runner you're gonna be, but the more of like usually like athletes have higher VO2 maxes. So like it's gonna be something that's gonna help you a lot with fixing how you run. And one of the ways that I've been trying to do that and build it is doing morning zone 2 cardio. Now it has a lot of benefits. One of my favorite ones is just kind of like morning mental clarity, which is basically it just gets rid of like the grogginess that I feel in the morning. But on top of that, I mean, it's kind of, it comes with a lot of other benefits too that I use for like, being in the gym. You know what I mean? I always flex being in the gym and other things like that, which is fat burning, helping assist with fat loss. And it's a good way to kind of train your lungs So yeah, I mean, just looking at the benefits, it talks about mitochondrial health, which I mean, kind of really connects to your VO2. Basically, you're able to better generate more energy with each breath that you get. Fat oxidation is what I talked about with helping out with you burning fat, and then improved heart function, faster recovery, and then mental clarity, which is probably one of the biggest things that I've kind of experienced like as an immediate effect with morning zone 2 cardio. But yeah, I mean, and if you don't know morning zone 2 cardio, basically it's any type of cardio or aerobic exercise which you're able to perform it while also having a conversation. So usually I do it with this Apple Watch on me, attached to my arm, worn, whatever, right? It's able to kind of tell me when I'm doing a morning run, There's a setting to where you can kind of look at it and it'll tell you what zone of cardio you're in. And I just try to stay in zone 2 throughout the entire session. And I usually go for about 40 minutes, 40 to 50 minutes. And I do that a few times a week. So that's one way. Another thing too is kind of improving your sprint. Kind of sounds very redundant, but one of the ways that I'm planning to implement this in my personal life is by doing things like hill sprints, probably maybe just a few times a week on top morning zone 2 cardio that I'm planning on doing, which pretty much is supposed to help me. I mean, you know, you gotta sprint, you know what I mean? Hill sprints I feel like are a nice way to kind of add to that, right? Yeah, you're sprinting, you know, because you're kind of just adding like a challenge, and it's pretty fun. You know, I had a friend kind of tell me about it. He's like, yeah, sprinting is a more masculine kind of activity and exercise, and I think I completely agree with him, and I want to include it inside of my training. Now here's a pro tip, especially for people kind of like me with type 2 muscle fibers, basically, you know, if you're fast twitch mostly, which is that certain fast twitch muscles are more trainable, and this can be trained through things like zone 2 cardio, which will allow the muscle to be able to kind of shift its kind of use and behavior to behave more like an endurance type of muscle, which I mean is kind of like the difference a lot when you look at like a lot of the marathon runners. You know, they a lot of them usually endurance genes that are kind of allow their muscles to be able, you know, like they have more type 1 muscles basically. But yeah, whenever you look at endurance athletes, usually they have a lot more endurance biased genes, like genes or muscles that behave more like endurance. Basically, they have muscles that give them an advantage for endurance, basically, bro. You know what I mean? They have more type 1, or at the very least, you know, if you compare them, you know, in comparison to most people, that's what they're gonna have. They're usually gonna have a little bit more of a bias towards type 1 muscles. And the same thing in reverse for sprinting athletes, they're gonna have more type 2 muscles. So honestly, it really just depends on the type of goals that you have. Obviously, there are certain training that you can do for more sprinting, better sprinting. I remember actually when I was in track, we used to do certain like exercises that were supposed to help you train your fast twitch muscles. That's actually where I first learned about the idea of like your fast versus slow twitch muscles. So honestly, and like some of those exercises were like doing things like I don't know, I think it was like striking your feet on the ground, like I don't know. You can't even like see my feet, you know what I mean? I don't know, something like that. Maybe I'll go and I'll look up those exercises, and I'll maybe do some videos talking about that. But yeah, with that being said though, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it pretty useful. And if you did, don't forget to give me a like, thumbs up, and subscribe, hit the post notifications. And if you're interested in learning more in detail about the things that I talk about in this channel, on this channel, or on my videos, definitely be sure to look at the links in the description. I have an email newsletter where I send weekly advice on everything to do with helping improve your physicality, looks, etc. You know, just like getting in the gym and all that, especially from a most anthropological point of view. So if you're interested in that, will be one of the links in the description. And if you want even more help or even more detailed assistance, be sure to hit the first link in my description. It will be a link to my school community where basically it's everything, me just teaching you everything, but you know, I actually have video courses and we do calls, so it's pretty cool there. With that being said though, peace.